I never thought I'd wake up hating the man I loved, let alone the body he left me trapped in. But there I was, staring into the mirror of that godforsaken motel room off the I-10, my husband's square jaw clenched around a scream that wasn't mine to silence anymore. And the worst part? Our son, sweet Alex with his innocent eyes, knew exactly what I'd do next, and he was already one step ahead, plotting the kind of revenge that would burn our whole damn family to the ground. They say in LA, dreams are currency, and mine had been cashed out like a bad check. My name's Demi Hargrove, or at least it used to be before everything went to hell in a handbasket of lies and silicon promises. I was 42, a mid-level accountant at a boutique firm in Century City, crunching numbers for tech bros who thought ethical investing was just a buzzword to slap on their TED Talks. My husband, Victor, was one of them, the golden boy of Neuralink, a startup peddling neural implants that promised to enhance human potential. Bullshit mostly, but it paid for the split level in Echo Park, Alex's braces, and that college fund we'd scraped together since he was in diapers. Alex was our miracle, born when I was pushing 39 after years of fertility roulette. He had Victor's sharp cheekbones and my stubborn streak, a lanky 17-year-old glued to his skateboard and coding apps in his bedroom like it was mission control for the apocalypse. That fund, 50 grand, every penny from my overtime and Victor's bonuses, was his ticket out of this smog-choked grind. Or so I thought. It started unraveling on a Tuesday, the kind of scorcher where the Santa honest whip up wildfires in your lungs. I came home early from a client lunch, my heels clicking on the terracotta tiles, calling out for Victor like some sitcom wife. The house was too quiet, Alex at his summer coding camp up in Pasadena. I found the safe cracked open in Victor's office, papers scattered like confetti from a funeral. Empty. Not just empty, gutted. The fund was gone, wired out to some offshore ghost account. And pinned to his monitor, a note in his scrawl, "I'm sorry, Democratic. It's bigger than us. Protect Alex. Love V." Protect him? From what? My hands shook as I dialed his cell, straight to voicemail. Then the cops, because what else do you do when your life savings evaporates? But Victor was slick. He'd rerouted the blame. By evening, detectives were at my door, badges glinting under the porch light, asking about irregularities in my firm's books. Victor had forged my signatures, planted digital breadcrumbs leading back to me. Embezzlement, grand theft, felonies that'd land me in Chowchilla for a decade if they stuck. I spent that night on the kitchen floor, wine bottle in hand, piecing it together. Victor's late nights at Neuralink weren't overtime. They were desperation. The company was bleeding cash, investors pulling out after a whistleblower leaked docs on their experimental trials. Neural swaps, they called it. Not full-body switches like in some B-movie, but mind-to-mind transfers via implants. Temporary, they claimed, for empathy training or executive burnout. But the dark web forums I'd stumbled into while Googling his name whispered the truth. Permanent swaps for the elite. Criminals buying new skins, identities laundered cleaner than money. He'd done it. Stolen our son's future to fund his escape, then pinned it on me so I'd take the heat while he vanished into someone else's life. Betrayal doesn't get deeper than that. Your partner, father of your child, turning you into the fall guy for his cowardice. I could have crumbled, lawyered up, begged for mercy. But as the sun rose over the Hollywood hills, staining the sky blood orange, something snapped. Not rage, exactly, cold calculation. If Victor wanted to play God with bodies, I'd show him what hell feels like in someone else's shoes. Alex came home that afternoon, backpack slung low, smelling like energy drinks and teenage sweat. He took one look at my puffy eyes and dropped his board, wrapping me in a hug that smelled like home. "Mom? What happened?" I told him everything, voice cracking on the part about the fund. His face hardened, not with tears, but that quiet fury I'd seen in him during pickup games when refs cheated. "Dad's a piece of shit," he muttered, fists balled. "We'll get him back." "We?" I nodded, but inside, I was already miles ahead. That night, while Alex slept, I fired up my laptop, VPN routed through a dozen proxies. The dark web wasn't new to me. I'd audited enough crypto scams to know where the shadows hid. A few bitcoins later, I had a contact, swapper, a ghost in the machine promising reversals for the right price. 20 grand. Ironic, half of what Victor stole. But it was all I had left, liquidated from my 401k. The meet was set for a derelict warehouse in the Arts District. Midnight, 3 days out. Those days blurred into a fever dream. Cops circled closer. My boss suspended me, pending investigation. Neighbors whispered behind hedges. Alex skipped camp, glued to my side, hacking away on his rig like a pint-sized Snowden. Found something, Mom, he said one evening, screen glowing with encrypted emails. Victor hadn't just run, he'd swapped. Into the body of a nobody, a drifter named Harlan Crow, busted for petty theft in Reno. Clean record now, Victor's mind puppeteering Harlan's frame, last pinged at a Fleabag motel in Vegas. He's building a new life, Alex spat. Girlfriend, fake job. Thinks he's free. I ruffled his hair, masking the ice in my veins. Not for long, kiddo. The controversial part? Alex knew about the swap plan. Hell, he helped me source the tech, stole the implant specs from Neuralink servers, a digital middle finger to his old man. Was it right, dragging my boy into this? Ethically gray as smog. Legally? A felony wrapped in another. But betrayal forges strange alloys, and ours was tempered in fire. Midnight in the warehouse, air thick with rust and rat shit. Swapper was a wiry Latina in a hoodie, eyes darting like she expected feds. The device was a briefcase miracle, 2 neural helmets, wires snaking to a humming server rack. Temporary glitch, she lied, pocketing my cash. You sink, yank the plug after the deed, swap back. No traces. Lies, all of it. Permanent, one way for amateurs like me. But I didn't care. Strap in, electrodes kissing my temples, Victor's face flashing in my mind. Not the smiling one from our wedding, but the sneer I'd imagined when he hit send on that wire transfer. The world dissolved into static, 1,000 needles pricking my soul. Then, nothing. Blackness, then light. I gasped, lungs burning, but it wasn't my voice. Deeper timbre, broader shoulders straining an ill-fitting flannel. Harlan Crow's body, Victor's prison. No, his prize. I stumbled to a grimy sink, splashing water, and there he was, my husband's eyes staring back, but mine inside. 53, grizzled, a stranger's aches in my bones. Freedom tasted like stale cigarettes and regret. First call was to Alex, burner phone buzzing in my Harlan's pocket. It's me, baby. Mom. His voice cracked, then steadied. Holy shit, it worked. You sound wrong. We laughed, hysterical, plotting next moves. Victor, in my skin, was holed up in that Vegas dump, thinking the heat was off me. He'd call soon. I knew it. Guilt or gloating didn't matter. When he did, Alex would answer and smirk. The drive to Vegas was a blur of desert heat and stolen moments of clarity. Harlan's truck, a rattling Ford with a bumper sticker reading "Don't tread on me," guzzled gas like my rage. I stopped at a diner outside Barstow, nursing black coffee, eavesdropping on truckers griping about gas prices and border patrols. America, land of the free, right? Free to screw over your family if you had the tech and the balls. My mind raced. How to dismantle him without blowing my cover. Victor's empire at Neuralink was crumbling, but he had allies. Venture capitalists in Sand Hill Road, lawyers who'd bury evidence deeper than Jimmy Hoffa. By dawn, I hit the strip, neon assaulting my eyes like a bad acid trip. The motel was a horseshoe of peeling stucco, room 12's curtains drawn against the sin. I parked across the lot, heart hammering in this borrowed chest. Waited. 2 hours later, my old cell rang. Alex's line, patched through. I answered, pitching my voice low. Harlan's gravel. Demi? That you? It was him. My body, my voice, but laced with Victor's panic. Harlan? Who the fuck is this? Listen, I need help. Help? I chuckled, dark and unfamiliar. Like you helped us, Vic? Draining Alex's future for your little joyride. Silence, then a strangled gasp. Demi? How, oh God, the swap. You crazy bitch, you did it. Undo it. Now. Can't, sweetheart. One-way ticket. I leaned against the truck, watching the door crack open. There she was, me, wild-eyed, clutching a robe like a shield. Beautiful, broken. You stole from our boy. Framed me. Ran. But now, you're me. And I'm coming for what's mine. He slammed the door, but I heard the sob. Victor Hargrove, king of the boardroom, reduced to a housewife's hysterics. I could have ended it there, stormed in, throttled the truth out of him. But revenge isn't quick, it's a slow bleed. I hung up, texted Alex, he's breaking. Your turn. And drove off. leaving my old self to stew in the mirror's cruel reflection. Vegas was a mirage, shimmering with false promises, but it fueled my fire. I ditched Harlan's truck at a chop shop off the strip, $500 and a promise of no questions, and boosted a nondescript Prius from the long-term lot at McCarran. Cash only, anonymous as sin. Victor's paranoia had rubbed off. I paid in 20s from an ATM run, heart pounding every time the machine whirred. In this body, I felt exposed, taller, but frilier, Harlan's liver-spotted hands trembling on the wheel. Age was a thief too, stealing strength one wrinkle at a time. Alex's texts kept me anchored. Cops bought your sick aunt story. Stay low. Smart kid. He'd spun a tale about me fleeing to family in Ohio, buying time. But the kid was fraying. Late-night calls where his voice hitched, asking if it hurt, if I missed my skin. Miss it? Not Alex. This is armor. Lies mostly. Showers were the worst. Unfamiliar curves absent, a paunch where my waist used to be. But pain sharpened the edge. Victor had hidden more than money. Emails Alex cracked revealed a double life. Mistresses in WeHo, coke-fueled weekends, and the real kicker. Neuralink's swaps weren't for execs. They were a black market pipeline for cartels. Bodies for border crossers, minds smuggled like fentanyl. Victor wasn't just running. He was complicit, our nest egg laundering blood money. That secret twisted the knife. I'd borne his crimes unknowingly, signing tax forms that masked the rot, while he played savior to our son. Alex deserved better. A dad who didn't trade his soul for a new one. My plan crystallized over bad diner eggs in Kingman, Arizona. Infiltrate Neuralink, expose the underbelly, drag Victor down with it. Controversial? Hell yes. Whistleblowing from a dead man's body, risking Alex's future on a hacker kid and a ghost mom. But justice in America isn't blind, it's bought. Time to bankrupt the bidder. Back in LA by nightfall, I crashed at a flop in Skid Row, the kind where roaches unionize. Harlan's ID got me in, no questions for a vagrant. Dawn brought the real work. A burner laptop, Alex's remote access. We synced, him in his room overlooking the Griffith Observatory, me in this sweat-soaked mattress. Phase 2, he said, screen splitting to show Neuralink servers. Firewalls like razor wire, but Alex was a ghost in the machine, exploits he'd coded since middle school. We pulled files, swap logs, client lists. Names, a senator's aide, a Wall Street wolf. And Victor, first in line, his mind uploaded weeks before the theft. The betrayal deepened. He'd planned it for months, testing on lab rats while I balanced checkbooks. But the hidden gem? A backup protocol, remote neural kill switch. One command, and a swapped mind fries like an overclocked GPU. Ethical nightmare, but power. Victor had it coded for emergencies, his insurance against double crosses. Now it was mine. I needed inside the beast. Neuralink's campus was a glass fortress in Playa Vista, all Tesla charging stations and kombucha fountains. Harlan Crow wouldn't pass security, but Victor Hargrove? His credentials pinged active, mine gone, but digital ghost lingering. Alex spoofed a badge, overnight it to a P.O. box. Disguise was thrift store chinos and a lanyard, Harlan's beard trimmed to executive scruff. Hard in my throat, I swiped in at 7 a.m., the gate arm rising like Judgment Day. The lobby hummed with yoga moms and venture drones, but I knew the layout. Years of Victor's drunk rants. Up the escalator to R&D, past pods of engineers nursing Red Bulls. His office was untouched, a shrine to ego. Framed Forbes clippings, a bobblehead Elon. I locked the door, booted the terminal. Jackpot. Encrypted drive. Swap schematics. Trial vids of subjects waking in alien flesh, screaming for home. I downloaded, USB burning in my pocket like contraband. But power corrupts, even borrowed. Temptation hit. Why expose when I could commandeer? Reroute funds, buy a new life for Alex and me. No more scraping, private schools, a ranch in Montana. The decision gnawed, selfish or survival. Controversial as hell, stealing from thieves to feed my own. I hesitated, fingers hovering, when the door rattled. Security? No. Victor, somehow, patched in via my old phone's GPS. Demi, you bitch, I know you're there. His voice, my larynx, tinny through the intercom. Panic mode. He'd tracked Harlan's phone, pieced the swap. Let me in. We can fix this. For Alex. Fix. I buzzed him up, curiosity outweighing caution. He burst in. Me, disheveled in yoga pants and a hoodie, eyes wild with that Hargrove fire. Up close, it was grotesque. My laugh lines twisted in rage, my hands, his now, clawing air. Undo it, he hissed, slamming the desk. You're ruining everything. Everything? Like our son's college? Or the cartels you pimped bodies to? I stood, Harlan's height looming, voice steady. You buried me in your shit. Vic framed your wife to save your ass. He deflated, slumping into my chair. It wasn't like that. The company. They forced it. Debts. If I didn't deliver, they'd swap me into some junkie, leave you penniless. Lies, but laced with truth. The secret he'd buried. Not just greed, but fear. Neuralink's founders, shadowy VC vultures, held leverage, compromat from his coke days. He'd stolen to pay, swapped to run, framed me as collateral. Sympathy flickered, a traitor spark. Was he victim too? No, choices define us. Too late for sorry, I said, pulling the USB. This goes public. Your empire crumbles, you rot in my body. His eyes, my eyes, narrowed, cunning resurfacing. Think about Alex. You expose this, Fed swarm. He'll lose everything. Home, future. You're the criminal now, squatting in a dead man's skin. The bluff landed. Alex, our boy, caught in crossfire. I wavered, the room spinning. Controversial crossroads. Mercy for the monster, or scorched earth for justice. He lunged for the drive. We grappled. Fists in unfamiliar flesh, grunts echoing off glass walls. I pinned him, Harlan's bulk winning, but alarms blared. Security inbound. Run, I gasped, shoving the USB into his hand. No, wait, mine. He bolted, me in tow, down service stairs slick with panic sweat. Out into the parking garage, tires screeching as I hot-wired a company Tesla. Victor, in my skin, flung himself in the passenger seat, shotgun wetting from hell. Drive, he barked, and for a beat, we were us again, partners fleeing the storm. But trust? Shattered. As freeways blurred, LA's sprawl swallowing us, I glanced over. He clutched my phone, texting furiously. To whom? Alex? Accomplices? The seed of doubt sprouted. What if the betrayal ran deeper? We ditched the Tesla in Boyle Heights, melting into Ticarius and murals of La Virgin. Victor rambled, justifying, pleading, a man unmoored from his throne. I did it for us, he insisted over al pastor tacos, sauce dripping like tears. Neuralink was toxic, but the swaps. They work. Imagine, new starts, no regrets. Delusional. But his words wormed in, stirring the what-ifs. What if I stayed swapped? Built anew with Alex, leaving the old Demi to fade. Night fell, us holed in an Airbnb under Harlan's name, irony's gift. Alex called, voice electric. Mom? You okay? Dad's blowing up my phone. Victor snatched it, fatherly croon turning accusatory. Son, your mother's lost it. Help me fix. I yanked it back. Alex, don't listen. He's poison. But the boy hesitated, screen frozen. Then, the twist that gutted me. Mom. I knew. About the swaps. Dad told me weeks ago. Said it was a game, to protect us. Knew? My world tilted. Betrayal squared, son complicit? Or groomed pawn? Victor smirked, my lips curling in his triumph. Told you. Family sticks. Rage boiled, but doubt froze it. Had Alex played me too? The call dropped, static hissing like laughter. I turned on Victor, fists ready, but he held up hands, my hands, placating. Talk to him. Then decide. Decide what? Dawn broke, gray over the San Gabriels, smog veiling the truth like a coward's shroud. Victor snored on the pullout, my former face slack in sleep, while I paced the Airbnb's confines, Harlan's knees creaking like old floorboards. Alex's revelation clawed at me, not betrayal, but fracture. Our boy, caught between loyalties, I knew, a grenade with the pin half pulled. Was he shielding Victor, or testing me? Kids in broken homes learn survival young. Ours was a lab experiment gone rogue. I slipped out for coffee, burner buzzing with Alex's text. Meet at the observatory. Alone. 10 a.m. Neutral ground. Our spot for stargazing when Victor worked late. I left a note. Gone for milk. And hit the streets, Prius weaving through morning rush. L.A. pulsed indifferent. Billboards hawking Neuralink knockoffs. Homeless vets cardboard signing for scraps. America, where innovation excuses atrocity and the powerful swap sins like outfits. The observatory loomed, Art Deco crown on the hill, tourists milling like ants. Alex waited by the planetarium doors, hoodie up, skateboard underarm. Same kid who'd once asked if stars were God's eyes. He spotted me, froze, then approached slow, eyes scanning Harlan's frame like malware. Mom? Jesus, it's really you. I pulled him into a hug, his bones sharp against this stranger's chest. Yeah, baby. It's me. We sat on a bench overlooking the sprawl, city a concrete quilt stitched with freeways. He spilled at halting. Victor's confessions over late-night burgers, framing the theft as necessary risk, the swap as adventure. He said you'd understand. Said you always did. Lies again. But Alex's complicity? Minimal. He'd kept silent out of fear. Cops, foster care, the unraveling of us. I wanted to tell you, he whispered, but Dad. He made it sound like heroes in a movie. Groomed, not guilty. Relief washed, but the damage lingered. Trust, that fragile thread, frayed to gossamer. What now? He asked, kicking gravel. The question hung, heavy as the marine layer rolling in. Exposed Neuralink? Victor rotted in my skin, Alex orphaned in scandal. Or mercy, swap back, bury secrets, rebuild on ruins? Controversial calculus, vengeance as virtue, or poison pill. I chose the path least traveled, truth, weaponized. Call him, I said. Get him here. Alex nodded, dialing. Victor arrived 20 minutes later, my body hunched in a cab, paranoia etching new lines. He saw us, relief flashing before suspicion. Son? Demi, whatever the hell you are, what's this? Sit. I commanded, voice brooking no bullshit. He did. Us three in a ragged triangle, wind whispering through eucalyptus. I laid it bare. The files, the cartels, the kill switch humming in Neuralink's cloud. You don't get to run, but you don't get to win either. His eyes darted, cunning, cornered. We destroy the evidence. All of us. Start over. Alex needs parents, not prisoners. Alex tensed, but I saw the ploy. Divide and conquer. Parents? You killed ours when you stole his future. The boy nodded, stealing. Dad, you lied. About everything. Victor's mask cracked. Tears, my tears, streaking. Vulnerability, raw as roadkill. For a beat, I pitied him, flawed man, crushed by ambition's wheel. But pity's a luxury, revenge, necessity. One chance, I said. Confess. To the board, feds, whoever. Take the fall, in my body. I'll swap back, testify clean. He laughed, bitter. And leave you in Harlan's husk? No deal. Then the lunge, for Alex's phone, to trigger something? Accomplice alert? Chaos erupted. Scuffle on the overlook. Tourists gaping, my borrowed bulk shoving him back. He teetered on the rail, feet slipping. The drop to the ravine yawning like accusation. Time stretched, elastic. Push. Let karma claim. Controversial precipice. Murder by inaction, or savior's grace. Alex screamed, Mom. Echo of 1,000 playground pleas. I grabbed my wrist, hauling back. Not for Victor. For us. For the woman I'd been, who chose life over ledge. He crumpled, sobbing. I can't. They'll kill me. The VCs, the swaps. The secret's core, not debt, but blackmail. Founders held vids, not coke, but worse. Victor, early trials, swapping with test subjects. Immigrants, desperate for green cards, minds erased post-transfer. He'd borne it, or so he claimed. Took the blame internally to shield the company. But he'd run when it scorched too close, dumping it on me. Twist reversed. I'd borne his crime unknowingly, yes, but he'd shouldered worse, a devil's bargain for our comfort. Villain or victim? Gray as LA haze. Then fight, I growled. Expose them all. Or I hit the switch. Defiance flickered, died. Do it. No, wait. Together. The word hung, olive branch or Trojan horse. We drove back, uneasy alliance. Alex at the wheel, me shotgun, Victor in back like a sulking teen. The Airbnb became war room. Laptops open, files uploading to secure drops. ProPublica, FBI tip lines. Victor dictated, voice cracking on names, dates. Cartel ties, swap logs, the human cost. Family shattered, identities auctioned. My testimony, scripted from Harlan's mouth, would corroborate. But climax brewed in the code. Alex, fingers flying, uncovered the kill switch's flaw, bidirectional. Trigger it, and all swapped minds, hundreds, flatline. Victor's eyes widened. No, that's genocide. Or justice, I countered. Controversial zenith. Mass mercy kill, or let monsters roam. America loves its dilemmas, drones versus due process. I hesitated, Harlan's heart stuttering. Alex decided, upload partial. Let feds sort the bodies. Wise beyond years. We hit send at dusk, the net closing. Sirens soon after, feds, tipped by our ghosts. Victor rose, cuffs ready, my face serene in surrender. Take care of him, he mouthed to me. To Alex, sorry kid. They hauled him. Me, away, taillights fading into twilight. Swap reversal? Swapper's tech promised, but at what cost? A week later, in a Reno clinic smelling of bleach and regret, helmets hummed again. Static, needles, light. I woke in my skin, hospital gown crisp, Alex at bedside. Mom. His smirk, subtle, knowing, mirrored the title of our nightmare. Victor called from lockup that night, screaming appeals, deals crumbling. Alex answered, phone on speaker. Dad. Pause. Then the smirk widened, silent as a blade. Karma's a bitch. Ending? Debatable. Victor plea bargained 5 years, Neuralink torched in scandals. Our fund recovered via asset seizures. Alex's tuition secured. But scars linger. Trust tatters, the what-ifs of that ledge. Did I save him, or spare myself? Hero or enabler? Readers argue in comments. I bet, America's favorite pastime. Me? I watch Alex code under observatory stars, my body whole, but soul etched with Harlan's grit. Revenge tasted bitter, but necessary. And in quiet moments, I wonder, if swaps steal lives, what did ours give back?